understand, like, yeah, I'm a police officer, but like, my life's not perfect by any means. I go through the same struggles as everybody else, and people think, oh no, you're a police officer, your life must be perfect. No, absolutely not. Like, I still have struggles and go through ups and downs in life, but the problem that people get stuck in is are you gonna there's two ways, right? You can be a victim of your circumstances, or you can actually use it as fuel to make it something better. And I think a lot of people, where they get stuck is like, poor me, poor me, poor me.
Welcome back to the Chosen Purpose Podcast. It's your host today, Kenyon Tobin Jr. This channel is a platform where you guys can come and find your purpose and learn from not only me, but my special guests on certain challenges that we've been able to overcome in our everyday life. Today, I bring to you guys somebody who's very confident, very humble, very ambitious. He's accomplished a lot in his life. Special guest today, Mason Johnson. So we got Mason Johnson in the building, bro. Thank you for pulling up. I appreciate you, boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, bro. I'm glad to get you on here. I know we were kind of collab for a little bit, but we had to kind of move some stuff around with the schedule. I'm glad we got you in here, though.
You,
so tell us a little bit about your upbringing, bro. Tell us how you came up and and where you're from and what you do as far as your occupation.
For sure. So growing up, majority of my childhood, I grew up in Camarillo. I went to elementary school in Camarillo, went to Monte Vista for middle school. Kind of moved around a little bit, like housing wise. Growing up, like, both my parents were there. They never were married though, or none of that. They always kind of just worked together, like, as co-parents, and helped raise me, obviously. And I do have a younger brother, so we have the same mom and dad. I also have an older brother. We have the same dad, but separate moms. Still treat them like blood though, because that's kind of what it is. So I went to elementary in Camarillo, middle school in Camarillo, and then I actually moved to Ventura, 8th grade year, but like halfway through 8th grade year, about to go into high school, because I wanted to go to Oxnard High School, but I wanted to be closer, because I drive from Camarillo to Oxnard. It's kind of a drive, so I actually used my grandma's address in Oxnard, and then I moved to Ventura. I actually live right down the street from you on Moon Street.
You live close by?
Yeah, so I grew up there, and so went to Oxnard High School for 4 years. Played basketball there. Had a pretty good career, I'd say. And then after high school, I went to play at Cal State Northridge for a year. And then our coach ended up getting fired after my freshman year. So that was kind of tough, right? Because, in high school, everything, as you're older in high school, as a junior, senior, you kind of got a good flow. Kind of understand how everything's going. Then you go to college and you're right back to the bottom of the totem pole. So trying to rework that, relearn everything, starting from the bottom again, and having your coach get fired who brought you in there is kind of tough. So shortly after that, I went to Moore Park College, where I played there for a year. Had a really good career, or a good season there. Had met a lot of good people. And then from there, I went to COVID hit, which is kind of tough. So they were all talking about canceling all the seasons or whatnot. So I was like, all right, well, I kind of don't want to sit out a year. I want to try and play somewhere. So I went up north to an NAIA school, Simpson University, who I actually got to play with my boy Bryson White. Shout out to my boy, who I actually played with in high school. We were super close in high school. Probably pushed me a lot to be where I am today, on and off the court. So I got to go up there for a year and live with him in the dorms, play with him for a year. And then I came back home and finished at Kalu my senior year. And I finished that in 2022, I think it was. I got to play with Jacob Alonso, older brother of mine. Super cool. Love him too. Got my degree in psychology. And then after that, I was like, all right, well, I could try to continue to play basketball and possibly go play overseas. I was going to probably go play in Australia. But looking at long-term wise, right, like, this is another thing with kids nowadays too. It's like kids get caught up in trying to play their sport for as long as they can, which is great. Like, I don't want a kid to stop playing their sport because, they want to grow up fast. But at the same time, you also got to think long-term. What's most important to you and your family, right? Like, I probably wouldn't have made a lot of money out there, and not saying everything's all about money. It's not, but I'd rather start my career being younger and being able to have a long-term healthy career rather than try to play basketball for as long as I can, man. Like, I still play for fun. Basketball's done a lot of great things for me in my life and being able to get to where I am. So I'm very grateful for that. So I worked after playing basketball, graduating and all that. I went and worked in mental health for a year, which was super beneficial to me, man.
That's good, bro.
Yeah. So I worked at Newport Healthcare, which was in Camarillo. which kind of is now doing my job that I do now is very beneficial because you're able to see both sides, right? Like uh, mental health's a big thing right now, so I was able to work with kids with mental health. I worked in mental health for a year, and then I actually applied for the Oxnard Police Department, and I've been on now for about a year. And so yeah, I'm with Oxnard Police Department. I love it. Best job in the world, man. You work 3 days a week. You're off 4, um, and I truly feel like I'm living a dream, man. Like yeah, there's a lot of stigmas behind police officers, right? Like, is there bad police officers out there in the world? I'm sure there are, but there's bad people everywhere, right? Like, no job, no career has perfect people, and even me, like, I'm not perfect, but you try to do the right thing every single day and have good qualities about you as a person, and usually people see that through. So yeah, I've been on for about a year now, and I love it, man. I love
Would,
it.
when you were playing basketball when you were younger, did you
Yeah.
ever have dreams to go into the
Of
NBA as
course,
far as like
man.
being in your occupation? Yeah.
Of course, 1,000%, man. When you're a kid, that's all you want to do. That's what you're supposed to do is dream, man. Like every kid that plays a sport and that's really dedicated to it and puts the time and effort in, like you should try to push it as far as you can. Like that was my dream to go to the NBA, right? Like I'd put the work in and day out. But obviously, man, the ball's gonna stop bouncing eventually, man, and hope and push it to as far as you can until you can't play no more or make a career out of it. But yeah, that was definitely my goal. But I mean, as soon as you get to college, like in high school, you can stand out, right? Because in your smaller areas, right, like you can get away with being 6'3" as a small forward. I mean, you go to college, the same dude that same dude who's now 6'7" with the same qualities and same skill set. It's gonna be hard for you to match that. And it takes a little bit of swallowing in your pride though too to understand like I understand like basketball's done great for me and I'm very appreciative of that. But like when the ball stops bouncing, like that's my time. Basketball got my school paid for, so like I don't have I graduated with no debt in school, so I'm grateful for that. But a lot of kids get stuck on, nah, I got to go to the NBA or it's a failure. It's not a failure, man. Like you got to use those times. Sports is a great teaching for life, man, because it teaches you to work as a team. It teaches you discipline in your daily life that you can use on a regular basis. So it's more than just a sport. So with that, but of course, I think I was going to go to the NBA, but obviously, stuff gets real as you get older, and you just got to embrace it and accept it for what it is.
Yeah. Did you ever end up getting your degree when you were in college?
Oh yes, I did get my degree in
Yeah.
psychology.
Okay.
So I'm super beneficial for that, man. Being able to use that now, working in the field as a police officer, right? Like mental health's a real thing. uh, as a police officer, man, you never counter someone on their great day. Like no one calls the police when they're having the best day in their life, right? It's always when they're in need of help or in a crisis. And mental health is a real thing. And being able to talk to people as, yeah, I'm a police officer, but I mean, I see you as a human for what you are, and I'm a human just like you. So being able to relate to them and not always having to be an enforcer of the law, whatever, you can kind of just work with people, man. And that's what people want. People just want to be heard and listened to, especially with this generation's day and age. Like a lot of people have a lot of struggles. And so at the end of the day, it's half the time they just want someone to talk to. So yeah.
I feel like there is a certain group of people though who really try to hold everything in and they don't communicate their problems and what's
Right.
going on.
Right.
And I feel like that kind of, when you have stuff bottled up inside, it kind of tears you up a little bit more because you
Right.
start getting in your head and your emotions get the best of you.
Right.
You start having all these negative thoughts and yeah, man, I feel like mental health is really something that we should be communicating about more
Right.
because not a lot of people are always, they're kind of
Open
scared to
to
speak
it.
up. Yeah.
Right. People are, like you said, people are scared to speak about mental health. It's not a bad thing.
No.
People think like, oh, you have to have your life figured out, or people don't struggle, man. Like, when I talk to people in the field all the time, man, like a lot of times people don't understand. Like, yeah, well, I'm a police officer, but like my life's not perfect by any means. I go through the same struggles as everybody else, and people think, oh no, you're a police officer, your life must be perfect. No, absolutely not. Like I still have struggles, family, life, and you're gonna go through ups and downs in life, but the problem that people get stuck in is are you gonna there's two ways, right? You could be a victim of your circumstances, or you can actually use it as fuel to make it something better. And I think a lot of people where they get stuck is like poor me, poor me, poor me, and then you just see them in the same cycle their whole life. But it's like you got to be able to use that stuff that you're going through to help you become a better person. And that's the problem. And that's where you see it. Like you'll see 30, 40-year-olds still tripping on things that happened when they were younger. And some of that stuff is serious, real trauma. And I understand that. But also too, it's like you got to be able to put the steps forward to try and help yourself work through it, rather than just be a victim your whole life. Because you're a victim in your whole life in society, then you're gonna get eaten up, and that's just what it is, you know. So trying to just show people, like, help be a positive mindset of helping them get there. Like, hey man, you can do it. You know, if you just put your mind to it and really lock in and focus on yourself. And I'm sure you've seen that in your own life yourself,
Believe
though,
and you
too,
can
man.
achieve, my
And it's
brother.
true, man. And, you know, a lot of people, like, you got the first step is believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is. You know, and being able to just understand, like, you can do a lot. When you ever put your mind to, it sounds cliche and cheesy, but it's the real thing. Like, you're capable, more than capable, of doing anything that you want to achieve. You know,
Starts with a plan too, and
yeah,
being
that's true,
consistent.
right?
Being consistent every single day. You got to
Consistent,
work towards the goals that you want to achieve.
right? And having a plan, like, and sticking to your goals, it gets boring, man. You
Right.
know, you see a lot of times people, like, will follow something for, I don't know, a couple weeks, and then, like, they see a little bit of hope, or they see a little positivity, like, all right, this is cool, like, I'm gonna continue it. And then, you know, sometimes people, they don't want to stick to the grind, and that's where they get stuck, because they just fall back into the same habits. Life's about habits. If you don't have good habits and good discipline in your life, man, you're gonna be in a roller coaster of life, you know, because you're only gonna want to do things when you feel good. But if you're only doing things when you feel good in life, you're not gonna get very far, man, because you
No.
can't go life off your feelings. You got to go off of your principles and your discipline and what you want to achieve.
To add on to that, bro, I feel like a lot of people, they got to get out of their comfort zone, bro. They
Facts.
stay comfortable and
Facts.
they don't really understand, like, you getting out of your comfort zone is a way that you can learn about yourself,
Right.
because you're learning about things that
Right.
you don't even know about yourself,
Right.
and you're just getting better every single day as a person.
Right.
And that's going to help you get to where you need to be at in life, or where
Yeah.
you want to go in life.
Comfort zone's a big thing, man. Like, people don't understand how comfortable, like, just as people, as humans, we like want to be in a certain comfort zone that's only good for us. It makes us feel good. But the biggest thing, man, is, like, when you're in your comfort zone, you start feeling like you're getting everything, like, you start understanding everything's easy for you. Like, that's a red flag. Like, as soon as I start to feel like I got something down, it's like, all right, I need to start opening up my horizon and really lock in and try and push myself to challenge me to do something else, right? Because if you just live in your comfort zone your whole life, man, you're not going to really try to be able to achieve the goals that you want, just because you're always, oh, I want to feel comfortable. But it's like the most growth in your life, man, the most uh, places for opportunities when you're out of your comfort zone. Like, I hate being out of my comfort zone, but I know that the growth and stuff that I can achieve and want to do, like, that's where it takes place. So you also got to try. You also got to hang out with people that are not so much above you, but, like, who you perceive as, like, someone that you want to look up to, right? Like, if you're just constantly hanging around the same people that you were hanging around in high school, that are still doing the same thing they were doing in high
Yep.
school, you know, you're just going to be stuck in a cycle. Like, you got to put yourself in situations and areas where you're like, look down, like, dang, I got a lot of work to do to be able to get up to this, you know, and look up to people that inspire you to help you become what you want to be. Because if you just hang out with people in your comfort zone, you're going to be stuck there your whole life. You're going to get passed up,
Was
for sure.
there people that you were hanging out with, like, in college or high school, that you came up with,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of had to put them away to the side because you guys weren't benefiting from each other,
Right.
or, the things that you guys were doing, they
Right.
weren't really the best choices that you were making in that time?
For sure. Yeah. You know, in high school and in college, right? Like, high school, not so much, because you're all kids, right? Like, you
Right.
you think you're grown, but you're not really grown. You know, mom, you get to use mom's car, and mom will give you money to go out on dates or do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for sure, in college, like, you start to see people, like, once you get a little older, mature, like, you start to develop, like, okay, this is what I want for my life, and what they're doing is not what I'm trying to achieve. And nothing wrong with people. Like, people can make their own choices and do their own thing, which is totally fine. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not trying to level up, like, I can't really hang around you. There's no disrespect. It's all love. Like, if I see you, I'll still say what's up, but you got to really bring your circle small. And I think that's another problem with people, man. Like, they want a big circle, but it's like, the bigger circle you will have, man, the easier it is to get lost, the easier it is to get distracted. So, like, for me, bro, I think I have maybe two or three, like, true friends that I actually hang out with, and I'm cool with that, man. Like, I don't need all the people to hang around with, or a fan club. Like, I don't need that stuff, man. As long as I got my family's healthy, I'm healthy, and God's with me, that's all you need. You know, some people get stuck up, oh, I don't have enough friends. You don't need friends, man. Because a lot of people in your circle, they're just there they just want to see, they want to be nosy and see what's going on. Like, they don't really care about you, you know. So you got to be mindful of that, and and who you open up to. But for sure, as you get older, man, like, you know, when you're in high school, they always say your circle's going to get smaller when you get older. You're like, nah, I don't have all the friends.
I
Like,
didn't
I'm
believe that,
yeah,
bro.
I was like, I'm going to be cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm straight.
Right.
But then you start to get older, you start to see, like, the people that you actually hang around. Like, it's 2 or 3 for me. And I've always hung around older people, which kind of helped me out a lot because uh, growing up, like, and I love my dad. He can hear this for himself. He knows what's up. But like, I was super close to my dad growing up. I was actually daddy's boy, and then high school we kind of became distant. Nothing, no disrespect to him. Like, some stuff, sometimes in life things happen, and so I became close to my mom, and it kind of forced me to grow up a lot quicker than I probably wanted to. Right, like, bit maturity, having to do things as a man a lot younger, which I'm looking back, I'm grateful for it now. Like, I truly am blessed and thankful that God put me in those positions, because it's like, having to grow up at a young age, you got to kind of fend for yourself a little bit and be more mature. So I always knew growing up, what I wanted for my life is stuff that I wish I had growing up. And no disrespect to my mom as well. Like, I love her to pieces. She did everything she could. And she truly gave me, like, the biggest blessing of a life from a single mother's aspect growing up. But being able to go through those struggles growing up, like, it made me realize what I want when I have my family and what I want to be as a dad when I have my kids, right? Like, I want to be able to go out with my kids, still be young and play and really be there for my kids, because you see it in the streets all the time, man. Like, I contact young kids all the time, and a lot of them come from broken families, especially in Oxnard. Like, you see the demographics is a lot of broken families and a lot of pain, right? So a lot of kids are committing crimes and stuff, and you really can, like, talk to them, man. Like, if you really break it down, like, they'll break down and start crying, and you get it, right? Like, a lot of the kids that hang around gangs, right? They don't hang around gangs because they love to be around gangs, but that's the only love that they know. So they think, and it's not even real love, right? Because they'll dime each other out instantly, you know. But they hang around that because their hearts are they're missing stuff, man. They don't have that love at home, so they think that hanging around people that claim they love you and stuff and is what they know and what they want. They just want that love, and they'll tell you all the time, like, yeah, like, I'm struggling. They'll break it down, and I try to just be there for them though too. Like, you know, you're like, I get it, man. You're a young kid, man, but you're going through a lot, and so I understand what it's like to struggle. But, like, you can't let these struggles define you, man, because you're going to be climbing uphill your whole life. And so I try to give them that perspective though too.
To add on to that, I feel like the kids who are, who do grow up in gangs and everything, and like who come from a single family or a broken home, I feel like, because I went through a part of my life where I just had my mom in my life.
Right.
Shout out to moms, by the way.
Shout out
but
moms.
I had a point in my life where I grew up kind of in a single family. My dad's in my life now, but before, I was kind of not so much misled, but I was just always trying to be in the streets because I was trying to figure out, like, like, why am I feeling like this,
Right.
And it was really because I was kind of getting more love from my friends and everything, or at least I thought I was.
Right.
But I was just always trying to be in the streets, bro. I was always trying to hang out with the friends. I was always trying to just go out. I wasn't making some of the best choices.
Yeah.
But, like, as you get older and you get more mature, you start to realize, okay, like, the choices that I'm making and the position that you're in right now, I know there's better if you want it, though.
Right.
You have to be able to have that mindset and think that there's always better than the current situation that you're in.
Exactly. And hanging out in the streets, man, like, it's not good. One wrong decision can change your life forever. And I try to put that in perspective for the younger kids, man, because they think hanging out with the friends in the streets and all that stuff is fun. Which, hanging out with your homies is totally cool. Like, do that, man, but just make smart choices, because, like I said, like, one wrong choice, I mean, your life can change forever, and I've seen it. And I try to give them that perspective. Like, just be careful on what you do. Make smart choices and hang around good people, And some people take your advice and some people don't. And that's just kind of where it's at. They got to kind of live with their choices that they make.
I feel like a lot of things right now, as far as, like, the choices that people are making, like, social media is huge right now.
Yeah.
So people are scrolling all day, bro.
Yep.
They're seeing these certain lifestyles that people are living, and they're creating this illusion in their head that they either want to be like that or they start kind of acting like that in a way. I feel like a lot of it too is the music that we listen to, bro. Because like, you hear the stuff that they're talking about, and it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, just like, bro, because I read the Bible a lot now, so I'm really into the Word. Like, the past 2 years, I've really been consistent with God.
Right.
And reading the Bible and listening to certain music that I kind of listen to now, and then, like, kind of relating, like, on the lyrics that they're saying, bro. the words and the messages they're putting out in today's music, bro, is crazy, bro.
Right.
And it almost kind of makes you feel bad in a way, bro. Because
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, the music sounds good,
Yeah.
but what they're talking about, bro, and then the message, people actually listen to what they're saying, bro.
Mhm.
So they kind of take that and then they run with it, and then, like I said, they create this illusion in their head that they're kind of living like them in a way. Like
Right.
everybody wants to be rappers, you know.
Right.
Everybody wants to be rappers, you know. They follow that lifestyle,
Yeah.
but
They
yeah,
should buy
bro,
all the
it's
jewelry, all
jewelry,
the chains, all the
but it's a
little.
waste of money,
Yep.
bro. Like
Hey.
they really need to be talking to us about generational wealth, bro.
Finances, right.
Yes, financial literacy, ways
Yep.
we can grow our money, ways we can let our money work for us instead of us working for money.
Right. A big thing you hear on social media, man, is especially this generation now, like everything's social media, right? Like you can't even really have a conversation with like a sit down like this. Kids can't do that no more, you know?
The attention span,
They're
bro.
just scrolling
It's crazy.
TikTok and stuff, and that stuff is wild to me. And the biggest thing about social media is no one ever posts any struggles that they go through in life, right? Like you don't see anyone having a bad day. It's always people are always posting all positivity, right? My life is good, my life's perfect. I don't care who you are, what you say, or what you do, man. Like everybody has a struggle, and everybody's going through something. So like, and it's easy to get caught up in, oh, look at their life. My life is just so bad, like poor me. But it's like people are really struggling out there, and the ones that have their Instagram looking like they got their life fully perfect and everything is good are probably the ones that are struggling the most, you
Right.
know. And they get that sense of gratification and comfort when they see all those likes coming in. But it's like if you're not right with yourself and you're not confident in what you are and who you are, like you're going to be always searching your life and you never be content. And you see that a lot right now, you know.
For sure, bro. I think a lot of people really have a problem with kind of admitting that they're going through something.
Right.
It's like you said, posting only the highlights, but they're not posting what they're really going through,
Mhm.
bro. And a lot of people have problems, like you said, because I even have certain struggles till today
We all do.
that
I
where
don't
I'm
care
going
who
through,
you
bro.
are.
You know, and
Yeah.
I feel like social media is kind of like a place where everybody can just get on the gram and anything and just kind of flex what they got
Yeah.
going on. You know, like
Right.
you said, they're only showing the highlights, but they want people to see kind of like they're living like this
Mhm.
rich life
Mhm.
in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to come off and look rich, bro. But it's like, you know, it's not. It's
Like,
it's crazy.
Those
bro.
material things come and go, man.
Material.
You know what I'm saying? Like
You can't take it with you.
You can't. I'd rather put my money in a crib or use it for trips with the fam or your girl or like me and my girl going to Cabo next month, like for a week, all inclusive.
Okay.
Like just being able to do stuff like that, man. Like those are memories that you can't get back, right?
Nope.
Like me buying a bag or some shoes, like. Those shoes aren't gonna fit me. I mean, they might fit me forever, but like if they're just sitting in the closet collecting dust, like I just waste my money. Like, yeah, I have the shoes, but I ain't even wearing them.
Bro, you wear it one time and get your moment on the gram. And it's
Hey,
over with,
as
bro.
long as I got it on the gram, I'm good, huh? You know what I'm saying? So, like,
with.
or if you're gonna buy stuff, like wear it. Don't just keep it up there for nothing, you know. But people just want all that flashy stuff for what? Like, you don't take that stuff with you. No one really cares. Or people that buy like super expensive things, right? Like, if you have your money and stuff, that's totally good, you know. But I'd rather, like I said, put my money in a crib or put my money in something that's going to help my family long term, right? Invest in yourself. Like the people that you post on Instagram for all your stuff, it's like they don't really care. Like they cool, all right, he got it. But what? You're tripping on them, how they feel about what you have, and they don't even care. Like you're taking more personal than them. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
It's like that stuff don't even matter. Like for example, like I just paid off my car like a month ago. Take notes on this one. and I was going to the dealership. I was talking to my girl. I was like, I'm gonna go buy a truck. And I was like, I stopped before I went. And I was like, what's the point? Like me buying a new truck, like who am I really trying to impress? Myself? Like God don't care about that stuff, you know? Like I have a car. I drive a police unit more than I drive my own car. So like who am I really trying to flex on? You know what I'm saying? And that just comes with discipline and understanding what you really want in life. Like, yeah, I could go buy a truck and be cool, but like that's not my purpose. That's not what I really want to do. You know, save your money. Like really save your money, kids. You guys think like I go to school sometimes like, hey man, how much is your Apple Watch or whatever? And I'm like I want to chase the bag. Like how do I get that money? And I'm like, man, let me tell you this one time. Like if you're just constantly chasing money in life, you're never going to be content, bro, because money comes and goes. And the real people and the real relationships you have, that's the stuff that stays forever. Like you just trying to chase the bag, which is no problem. Like get your money, but also understand like that money doesn't define you, right? Like put it into organizations or people that really need it. Like don't just try to be selfish, because when you're selfish, God don't bless selfish, man. But that's a whole other topic.
You guys got to understand too. Like money does not buy happiness.
No,
bro. Like
all.
There's people who are rich and have millions of dollars but are still miserable. But you want to know why though? It's because they're not they're not rich in spirit,
Yep.
they're not rich mentally, and they don't even take the time out of their day to actually work on themselves.
Right.
But they have this money, and it's kind of just like a coping mechanism that they use. And then you know what comes with that, bro? It
Yep.
comes drugs, bro,
Yep.
alcohol, partying,
Yep. Women,
all that.
stuff
Yeah,
that's not even good for your soul, man.
not good for your soul, bro. And eventually, bro, you're gonna run out of the bag chasing all that, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna run out of the bag.
Facts.
Let me ask you something, bro. So, what is the defining moment in your life or in your career that set you on the path that you're on today?
Yeah. I think playing sports growing up was the biggest thing for me, to be honest. A lot of kids, like, not having sports, I really don't know where I'd be, to be honest, because like I said earlier, like it teaches you that discipline, working with a team, being able to go through adversity, right? Like you're not going to win every game, going ups and downs, being able to take criticism from people. That's the thing now, the now generation, man. No accountability, bro. Nobody wants to take accountability for what they do, right? Like people like it's always someone else's fault rather than looking up, you know what? It is my fault. I take accountability for that. And people like kids can't get yelled at no more. Like everything's like has to be their way, and you get to baby these kids, but it's like these kids need to be able to struggle a little bit because if you don't let them struggle when they're young, what's going to happen when they go to the real world and they turn 18 like and they're like, dang, my life is basically like on me now. Like no one's going to feel sorry for you, you know. And I would say this though too. I think every young man should go through a boot camp of like military or a police academy, man, because like I thought I was always respectful, but as far as like accountability, not so much accountability. I think just discipline.
Discipline, bro.
Big thing, man. Like
Yeah.
going to the academy, like having to shave your head, like basically being like just stripped down to your core, like having to rebuild yourself back up. Like that was the longest 6 months of my life. But looking back now, it's the best thing I've ever done. Like going away, I was in Orange County for 6 months in the academy and being away from home, and really it's just you and you. Like you got to really just lock into yourself and figure out who you are as a person. And constantly getting yelled at and screamed at all day. Like I don't mind that, but it's just the consistency every single day for 6 months. It just changes you as a man, and it teaches you discipline and those qualities that you need as a man. Because if you don't go through any adversity in life and everything's just handed to you your whole life, it's like you're going to be screwed as soon as you get older, and it's all on you. Like these parents or some parents now just want to just hand everything to their kid, which is give your kid the life you wish you had, and I agree with that. But let them struggle a little bit, man, because it's good for them to struggle because they don't know what struggle is like. When they really hit that struggle for the first time, they're just going to just fall down and not be able to get back up. Like when I have kids, man, like you got to let them go through it. Hey, you cry, you fall down. Hey, get your butt up. You know, like it's okay to not be okay sometimes. Right. You know, like it's fine. You know?
Bro, when I was not okay and I was going through it in my life, that was when I learned the most about myself, bro.
That's when the real growth happens.
Bro, exactly. Tell me about it.
Just struggling. Like there'd be times in the academy, man. Like I'll be real with you guys. I don't mind. Like I'm not ashamed of it. But I'd go home and I'd cry and I'd be like, I am like hurting right now. You know, like this is like so uncomfortable to be going through this stuff. But like looking back now, a year later, like my life has completely changed, and it's really without God, obviously I wouldn't be there. But you got to go through those struggles to really develop that character that it's going to get tested at times in life, you know. And if you don't really know who you are and what you stand on, you're going to see something. Oh, I think that might be me, or I think I like that. Like you're constantly going to be in a roller coaster because you don't really know who you are, you know. And stuff for those experiences, I think a military boot camp or a police academy is definitely something every young man should go through, because I can't even explain the amount of growth that I saw myself in that year.
Are you allowed to kind of explain some of the things that you went through during boot camp, or they want to keep it confidential?
I'll tell you a little bit. Like it's like as soon like day one, God, I don't even want to remember it. Like we're supposed to be there standing outside the gates at 6 a.m. I think something like that, and the TAC staff told us, all right, we'll be out there at 6 a.m. on the dot. To get you guys, and we'll go in. We stood up, or we stood out outside the gate, lined up at like 5:59, and they just came out yelling at us, screaming at us. I told you 6 a.m. on the dot, and you're out here 1 minute early. Like just little petty stuff, you know. Yeah. And we were probably doing like 500 push-ups, 600 push-ups with sit-ups and all sorts of stuff for no reason.
A day,
like just getting cooked.
Damn.
And I was like. And then just like, man, I am getting grilled. And it's the little details that they teach you in the academy. So when you go out into the real world, you understand every little detail matters, man. And if you're not on your P's and Q's, in the real world, I mean, any moment someone can come up from behind you and assault you or whatnot. So always being ready and understanding like everything matters. Every little thing that you don't think matters really does matter. And I mean, in the academy, we've got pepper spray. We got tased. I think I'd rather get pepper sprayed though, bro, any day. Like
Then the taser,
bro. It's only like 7 seconds, but I swear, like I died like 3 times while going down.
Which one is 7? The pepper spray or the taser?
Oh, the taser 7 seconds. So they'll fire it at you and it'll hit you, and then your body just loses obviously its control and you just fall. But bro, that like shock is just unreal. Like I would never do that again.
On a taser, can they change the voltage on like how much?
With bro, the taser that we carry in the field is not. It's not that it's not as effective, but the one that we go through the academy, they'll hook one strap up to your shirt and then one to your sock, so you get the full extraction of the taser. So you feel it from top to bottom, man, and I'm good off that. But in the streets, obviously, you shoot it and there's 2 prongs that come out,
right?
And so whatever part of the body they hit, it's only that part of the body that's going to get really as locked up, rather than the full tension of the taser. So yeah, man, I'm good off that, bro. The pepper spray kind of sucks though, like because it burns really really bad. But you go wash your face and it probably lasts like 2 or 3 hours. But then when you go shower again, it reactivates because it gets on your head and stuff. So that stuff sucks, man. But yeah, you could pepper spray me any day of the week, bro. I'm good.
Bro, how did they extract the pepper spray? You just stood there and they sprayed? Or
yeah,
what?
So you just like literally just closed one eye and then they just sprayed in your eye. And then you have to go do a little obstacle course real quick. And your eyes are cooked. Like
while you're sprayed, you got to go do the obstacle course.
So you get sprayed and then go like carry like a body bag, like a dummy.
Right.
Like 150 pound body, just drag it across, and then they'll ask you some other stuff you got to go through, and you're just like, the pain is just, it's hurting obviously, but you can't stop, right? So yeah, that was probably the worst. I'd rather do that though than get tased for sure.
To anybody who wants to join the academy,
yeah,
now you know what you gotta go through.
Stand by, man. Late night, like having to write like memos, which is like reports. There'd be times, bro, like I'd get home at 6. It's like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you're 12 hours at the academy. Come home, you got to write your reports and all that. And I would probably get to bed like 2 in the morning. Have to be up at 5 a.m. just to get ready for the next day, man. So it was a grind, you know. But I'm very grateful for it looking back at it now, man, for sure.
Okay. So share a challenge that you faced early on and explain how you overcame that challenge. It was kind of like the most difficult situation that you had to go through in your life to bring you to where you're at today, other than the police academy, because I know that was challenging.
Yeah. Oh man. I'd probably say my upbringing a little bit. That high school, like the 8th grade to my senior year, like that struggle, that pain that I felt, like not being close to my dad, like that hurt me a lot, you know, and he was doing things that he probably shouldn't be doing as a father, you know, and not being there for your kids as much as he could have. So having to like really grow up at a young age was probably the hardest thing. Like, you know, like, because when you're a kid in high school, man, you're going through so many emotions and so many different things. Like your body's changing, you're becoming more mature.
Right.
And so you need that father figure to be able to call on, right? Like, hey, like I'm going through this. Like, can you help me through that? And not having that was at times was kind of hard because it forced me to grow up a lot faster. But obviously looking back now, like I'm grateful for it because it's helped me become the man that I am today.
Exactly.
You know, and staying close to God, grow. I think people don't understand having those good relationships within your church and those people. Like that stuff's important to you, man, because you're gonna go through struggles in life. There's no way around it.
No way.
You know, but it's like I tell people, it's like you can work through it and try to become better and see, hey, what's the purpose of me going through this? Because every season in life, good, bad, there's always a reason, you know, and looking through it and try to figure out, hey, why is God putting me through this, you know? And when life's going amazing, enjoy that time, man, because there's going to be a dark time coming again in life.
Right.
It's just part of it,
right.
You know, and God allows different seasons to pull things out of you that you probably didn't think you were capable of. So I always say, like, never get too high in life and never get too low because things are always evolving, you know, and being in law enforcement really puts a perspective, man. Like your life can really change in a second. You can go from being awake and alive to dead like that, you know, and seeing that kind of stuff, you know, it puts life in perspective, and it can be challenging at times, right? Like one call you're going to a shooting victim, someone just died, right? And then the next call I got to go help grandma who just fell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like obviously like your emotions, you kind of just learn to kind of not shut them out, but it's also like you kind of just become numb to things, which can also affect your personal life, right? Like there's times where I struggle with my family, you know, because sometimes they say, "Hey, Mace, you're not as emotional as you used to be," right? Well, it's also in perspective, like in this field, like you don't really have time to be emotional because if you just get stuck in your emotions and every single call you go into, you're going to be torn up by the end of the shift because it's like you're going through so many different things and nothing's ever consistent, right? Like you can be able to help a family one time and then the next time, like I said, you're going to go to someone that's dead. Like you can't, unless you're in law enforcement, it's hard to put that perspective in, right? Because you don't really understand what that person is going through, and that's why you got to find healthy outlets. Like going to the gym or doing something to where it's like when I'm not at work, like I don't want to think about work. I don't want to be a part of that because it is hard. Like I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, my job's easy because it's not. You know, you're going through different stuff all the day, every day, and every call is different. No day at work is ever the same, which is a love. I love it, but it's also like you don't know what you're going to get into this day. You know, and like you said, the stuff that you see, it really puts life in perspective and makes you feel grateful because like I said, one day you could be here and the next day you can't, you know?
Yeah, the things that you were expecting when you had joined the police academy and then to you obviously graduating
Yeah.
into being a police officer, were you expecting some of the things that you kind of were are going through as far as like some of the calls that you would get on, you know?
Right.
Like were those some of the things that you were kind of already guessing in a way that you were already going to be on, or is it new to you as far as like
Yeah,
what you would see every day?
for sure. In the academy, you go through scenarios. So like
Okay.
they'll put you like through some simulated stuff, but nothing's simulated to the streets, man. Like I think the biggest stuff or the biggest obstacle is just really going out there because when you go to when you go to the academy after that you'll be in it's called a field training program, so you'll be with a partner for 6 months, kind of teaching you how the streets work, right? The streets is different than the academy because the academy builds the foundation, but obviously working in the streets is where you really get your hands on and you really understand and see everything. um, but no, nothing prepares you, man. Like I mean, I've been on some pretty serious, like deep calls that even now, like I'll talk to people and I'll tell some stories and they're like, how do you process it? And every time someone asks me that, it's like, that's a great question. Like, how do I process it? Sometimes like I like not that I forget to process it, but you kind of just like it's kind of just like normal life to you, which can be scary, right? Because like it takes your emotions out of things, right? When you need to be there physically, emotionally for your family, it's like sometimes you struggle at that, right? Because you're just for those 12 hours, it's just like suck it up. Like you don't got time to feel what you really see or what you're dealing with, you know. I don't think anything can really prepare you for it. And just having those healthy outlets, I think, is important, and being able to talk to people outside of law enforcement, right? Because if you just hang around law enforcement all day, man, like outside of work, you're gonna get tired because that's all. You just, oh, what's your story today, or what happened today? Like I try to keep, like I have friends at work, and those are my work friends, but I also have people that are outside of law enforcement to be able to help me feel like I can still be normal, right? Because if you're just caught up in that life the whole time, man, it's easy to get just sucked in on trying to be a police officer your whole life or 24/7 rather than you're still a human, right? Like, even when I talk to people in the streets or like people that I arrest or take to jail, like I tell them, like, bro, I'm a police officer, yes, but at the end of the day, man, like when I go home after my 12 hours, I'm a normal human just like you. I have the same struggles, so nothing makes me different. Like, yeah, I'm in this career, but I'm still a normal person. I think sometimes people get, oh, like, have police officers have this stigma, like, oh, you're a cop, like, oh, you're a square, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just
Nah,
doing your
bro.
own thing, like, you don't
Nah.
really get it. But it's like, bro, you could be a normal human being and live your life and still be a police officer as long as you make the right choices and do the right thing. But you can still live your life and have normal people around you. You know, you don't just have to live in a box. And I think sometimes people get that perspective, like, oh, nah, I can't hang out. You're a cop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, nah, man. As long as you make the right choice and do the right thing, like, I don't mind hanging around you. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that sounds like they got something to hide if they don't want
Yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, why you? Like, why you trying to hang
Yeah.
out with me? You
I
know?
think that would be cool to have a cop as a friend, bro, because you can
But
communicate with him and you can learn about the law, bro.
right,
You know?
or get perspectives on
Yeah.
different things and people, you know, because you know you talk to so many people in the streets and so many different walks of life, you know, and it kind of teaches you like my problems ain't really that big of a problem, man. Like when you're seeing what people really going through in the actual streets, it's like, man, should I really be tripping on what I'm going through? Like this person that is going through way worse, you know what I'm saying? And it teaches you a level of gratitude and thankfulness, man, because there's someone's life out there that's a lot worse than yours.
Bro, I was just thinking about that last night, bro.
Yeah.
In my bed, I was like, bro, we gotta be more grateful and
Yes.
appreciative to like
Yes.
just us even being able to wake up in the morning, bro.
Right. Or being able to walk.
Yeah, bro.
Eat.
Bro.
I can use my hands and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to get, like, I always want more. And we always talk about, yeah, you should want more for your life, man. But the simple of just being able to get out of bed and walking on my own feet. I have food on my table. I have a house. Like, I have people that love me. Like, that's the stuff that really matters. If you could take everything else away in life, and I got that, like, I'm good, you know. But in this generation that we live in, it's like you never have enough, you know. And it's like you do have enough because God's always going to provide everything you need. But when you start to get greedy and stuff, that's when you start chasing everything that's not even meant for you.
Bro, I was literally thinking about that last night. That's crazy. You hit it right there, bro.
Truth,
it's
man.
the truth,
bro.
It is. Because there's like people, like, you gotta understand, like, okay, yeah, we have like a car, like, yeah, we're able to eat, we got family, you know.
Right.
Like, there's people who are on the streets that don't even get to experience
Legit.
this type of level, bro.
I
Like,
see it all the time.
Like,
all the time.
We're thankful to even have a car to drive to
Right.
work. There's people who are getting on the bus, bro. There's people who are walking to work, like
sleeping outside of McDonald's.
Bro.
See that all the time. And some of them, like, are some of them are there for the reasons and choices that they made in life, you know. But at the end of the day, man, we're all human, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel bad for people that struggle, you know, and you got to have some sort of a love for people, you know, and try to help people that truly need help, you know. But yeah, you know, you see it all the time. You know, some people don't know when the next meal's coming, and it's hard, you know, because you want to be able to help every single person, but obviously you can't help everybody, you know. But in those times that you can, and when you see people in need, like, reach out a hand, man, because you never know what someone's going through. Like, I'll share a quick little story. So it was probably like 2 months ago. I get a call for service that someone's trespassing in a vacant residence. So with trespassing, like, technically that's a misdemeanor. You can be arrested for that, right? So I get to the call. I contact the lady that was, like, trespassing in this vacant residence, and I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? She's like, hey, like, this, like, I'm admitted, like, yes, I went into this house and I wasn't supposed to, but I'm living in a garage right now with 3 kids. Like, I don't have a stove or nothing. Like, I was just trying to make some food for my kid. And, like, I stopped for a second because obviously, like, we have spirit of the law and letter of the law, right? Like, letter of the law is enforcing law, spirit's like, okay, yeah, I could probably arrest you for this, but, like, let's take another perspective. So I was talking to her and I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I just don't have money. I just lost 2 of my jobs. Like, I can't even afford to have a hot meal for my kids. So in that moment, I said, hey, I told my partner, hey, stay right here for a second. Like, I'm going to go to the store real quick. So I ended up buying their whole family food for that night, right? Like, it's all about trying to help those in need. Like, she's truly in time of need. Like, I'm gonna reach a hand out and help her out. And so I came back and I gave her food, whatever. She just started crying and just stuff like that, man. Like, you know, people are really struggling out there. So if you can help somebody, by all means, help them out. You know, and so doing stuff like that. I always, when you're a kid, you get selfish. Like, what can I do for myself? But as you get older, it switches. Like, I get more gratitude helping somebody else out than I do myself. You know, and just trying to keep that always the main thing, because God allowed me and blessed me and provided for me to be where I am today. So it's only right that I reach my hand out and help somebody else in the time of need, or help someone else that wants to get to maybe being a police officer or whatever in life. You know, it's like always trying to help somebody else, because someone helped me to get to where I am today. So if it's only my right and my job to help somebody else on the way up.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, my boy.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a tough story right there to listen to, man.
It's sad, man, but it's like being able to help her out. You know, like, she probably didn't think the police would be able to help her with that stuff. And you know, I try to do a lot of stuff for people in the city that I don't like to, oh yeah, look what I'm doing, because it's not about that, man. It's about helping out people that are truly in need. And helping them out, because people do need that stuff. The people do need to love and show people really care about them, you know. So
what do you think about what's going on right now as far as the ICE and everything?
Yeah.
And
for me and with Oxnard PD, like, we don't associate with that stuff, right? Like, whatever ICE does, that's on them. Oxnard PD, like, I stop people all the time that are not from here, and I don't enforce anything, right? Like, I'm there to protect and serve our community, right? Like, I don't judge someone if they're not from America or whatever, and we don't press that issue. Like, whatever they're doing, that's on them, and we kind of just stay separate from that, because you know, because at the end of the day, we want to have the trust and the love of the community to know that we're truly there for them, and then when they're a victim of a crime or see a crime, that we're there to help them, right? Like, because I don't want people to, or we as a department don't want people scared to call the police because they think something's going to happen to them. Like, we're whatever they're doing, that's on them. But like, as far as us as a Oxnard Police Department, like we don't mix in with ICE and none of that stuff. We stay away from that stuff.
Right, because
Yeah.
the stuff that's going on in
Yeah.
LA is crazy right now, bro.
You know,
Like,
and I'm all for people showing their First Amendment rights and doing all that stuff, right? Like peacefully protesting, that's a great thing. I think people should use their voice. But the problem is when you start having looting and people vandalizing stuff, like that stuff where crimes are being committed, that's totally different, right? Because now what's your purpose? Is your purpose to really use your voice as a positive, like in helping really share the message you're trying to get across? Or is it you trying to vandalize and damage buildings and stuff? Because that stuff's not cool right now because that's someone's property, right? And that's where the issue comes in, is the looting, the vandalism, the burglary. Like I said, if you want to protest, and you have every right, right? Like it's your First Amendment right, freedom of speech,
right.
peacefully, right? But as far as when you start doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, then there's other problems, you know? And that's kind of where I'm at right now with that.
Yeah. It's tough to see that going on, bro.
Yeah, it's
especially
hard, you know.
Yeah. All right, man. So, how do you stay motivated when things get tough for you? When you start going through a hard time in life, and things aren't really working out your way? How are you able to stay motivated and stay positive and keep a positive attitude on certain situations?
Yeah, for sure. For me, man, I think it's having a strong family background, right? Like, shout out to my girl Lauren. You know, she's been super supportive of me in this journey, and it's not easy, right? Like I said, there's times that are a lot harder than others, and I'm probably not the easiest to deal with all the time, you know. But it's just like constantly navigating, trying to figure out like your life, right? Like in this career, you're gonna have ups and downs, just like with every career, you know, and trying to still be human, but also still know that you're there to do a job and protect and serve your community. It can be hard at times, but I think having healthy outlets, going to the gym, I still hoop here and there. You know, I try to stick to it a little bit. Even though it makes me mad because I can't do the same things I used to do, but whatever, it is what it is. I just do it for fun.
Right.
I try to go on trips. I try to just take some time away, and people. That's another thing too. People get stuck on work all the time, right? They're like work, which is great, man. But if you just work all the time and forget about your family, that people that are without them, you're not doing what you're doing. It can be hard. So I try to take some time off here and there and just spend quality time with the fam and just do things that make you happy. That's the biggest thing in life, man. Is work hard and so you can enjoy the life that you work for. You know, if you just get stuck at work and that's all. Because if I'm just known as a police officer at the end of my time here on Earth, like I've done a bad job, right? Like I want to be more. I want to be remembered for more than just that. You know, for the person and for the type of person I try to be for the community. Because that's what people really want to know. Like, yeah, that's my job, but that doesn't define me who I am. You know, and just trying to have a healthy balance and a healthy what's the word I'm looking for? Like healthy hobbies, I guess would be a good one to just kind of keep that balance between work and life for sure.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Did you ever, when you were growing up, bro, like, did you ever have an idea that you actually wanted to become a police officer, or was it something that you just thought about recently?
Nah, so I knew growing up, like, okay, if basketball didn't work out, like, what would I do? And there's no way I could sit at a 9 to 5, bro, behind a desk. Like, I can't sit still. Like, I'd be driving myself crazy. So, funny story. Shout out to Coach Thompson, who's not retired. He was with Oxnard Police Department, but he was my coach in high school at Oxnard, and he was a police officer at the time. And I asked him, "Hey, man, like when I'm done playing ball, like I'm trying to become a police officer." He's like, "Man, don't talk to me right now. Go get your degree and finish school and all that, and then we could talk." And I was like, "All right, cool." So, sure enough, I just kept playing ball in college and did my thing, got my degree, and then after I was done, I was like, all right, like I'm ready. He's like, all right. So he kind of helped me through the process of getting in and hired on, and it's very important though. I think like because if you want to be a police officer like when you're 21, which you can, it's totally cool. Like I support that and stuff, but it's like you got to build that life experience, right? Because like one moment you're gonna be telling a homie, hey, you got to sit down on the curb, right? Like, and then the next moment you're gonna be able to talk to grandma. And so being able to understand and understand people's different walks of life, like you can't talk to everybody the same way, you know, because if you try to, you're gonna bump heads all the time. So just gaining that life experience and being able to know how to communicate with different people with different walks of life is very important.
Right.
So being able to have a full understanding of that, like getting that life experience. So looking back, I'm like grateful that he, get your schoolwork done and and live your life a little bit and get an understanding and good ground before you apply. And then once I was ready, yeah, that was it, man. I
Okay.
love it though, man. Love it.
What do you have to say about do you feel like people are actually living their purpose in life? Like, do you feel like the jobs and everything and like the career path that people are on, do you think people actually want to be doing these certain things, or do you feel like people are kind of scared to jump out there and actually do what it is that makes them happy? Or do you even think they know what it is that they want to do that makes them happy? Like, what do
Yeah.
you? Because you were talking about that 9 to 5,
Right.
about you not being
Right.
able to sit behind the desk.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I kind of wanted to elaborate like what you thought about certain people who are kind of working the 9 to 5 and doing
Yeah,
that thing.
and there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5, man. Like if like I get it. If you're doing something you love or that's the only way you can provide for your family, like I totally support that. And there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5s. But my biggest thing is like don't sell yourself short and just work a job because you're scared to get out your comfort zone or really strive for something that you want to do. Like in life, man, you only got one opportunity. Like shoot for the stars. Like do what you want to do and what makes you happy, right? Because you can make the most money doing a job, but if you're not happy, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the job you got to go do every single day or
You'd be
whatever,
miserable, bro.
right? Like I'd rather, if for example, make less money somewhere and enjoy my job than make a bunch of money and be miserable because I'm not enjoying my time, right? Like you want to be able to enjoy your time and also make good money. Like when I go to work, like it feels like work at times for sure, man. But I love it. I have fun. Like who can go, chase cars and get into foot pursuits and vehicle pursuits and part of your job. Like that stuff's rare. So
Right.
I love work and also being able to work with my friends, like some people that I grew up with in high school, like it's the best thing. So finding that balance of trust yourself and being able to like really push yourself to where you want to go in life. Because if you're just always trying to stay uh, comfortable, you're gonna get stuck. So yeah, nothing wrong with 9 to 5. Like that stuff is great and it works for people, which is good, and they're doing something they love. That's awesome. But don't be afraid to step on that out of your comfort zone and really push something you want to do. Because once your time's up here on Earth, man, like that's it. And you don't want to live with no regrets for sure.
I know some plumbers, bro, in my occupation that,
Yeah.
let's say, for example, bro, when I was 18, 19, when I first started, bro, there was people who were like 40 and above who were
Yeah.
still working there,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking like, I know for a fact, like, this is not what, like, someone chooses to do for their whole
Right.
life,
Right.
Especially
Right.
being a plumber,
Yeah.
There's some nasty stuff that you got to go through, bro. There's some nasty stuff that you got to go through. Not all the jobs are nasty. I'm not saying everything because there's new construction and there's also like a service side where you have to maintain the residential properties.
Right.
But bro, being like, I know there has to be more, is what I'm thinking as
Right.
far as like being that young and seeing someone that
Yeah.
older like work there. It's like, bro, I know your dream job is not to become a plumber.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of like stepped out there and got out of my comfort zone, bro. And I
Yeah.
wanted to actually learn what else I was good at.
Right.
And, I kind of fell in love with podcasting. I fell in
Yeah,
love
that's
with,
dope.
just being an entrepreneur, being able to create opportunities for myself.
Right.
I got some other businesses that I'm working on that I don't want to speak on right
Yeah.
now, but they're on the way though. But yeah, bro, like me just getting out there and getting out of my comfort zone, like it was just it's really fun to kind of see like what you can achieve on your own.
Right.
Not on your own by yourself, but what I'm saying, like you kind of being independent, like, yeah, you can keep a small circle with you,
Right.
but like you were talking about earlier, like, bro, you don't want to have a big circle of people
Nah,
who
man.
are trying to just be
be
nosy
nosy.
and see what you got going on, bro.
Yeah.
And not only that, bro, but people like to steal ideas, bro.
I
Like that's
bet.
why I don't really want to talk too much about certain stuff. But like, bro, I've seen people, I've seen people talk about something or something that they wanted to do, and like a couple weeks later, like, bro, like someone else is kind of like doing the same thing, bro,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like they never even really were talking about that certain situation, so they heard
And
you
now
say
they
it.
want to do it.
You know what I'm saying? And now they want to be, but I'm not talking about the podcasting, bro. Like anybody who wants to do a podcast, like I feel like you should definitely step out there and
Yeah,
get
it's
into it,
dope.
bro, because content is like the new wave now.
Right.
Nowadays, like a lot of people are making content. Yeah, it might take a while to start making money off of it, bro, but you gotta start somewhere, bro.
In fact, we all start somewhere. You know
You
what I'm
gotta
saying?
start
Like you
somewhere,
can't
big
just start
dog.
at the top. But it's funny you talk about like your circle getting smaller, man. Like some people I look at high school are still freaking at the club on the weekends, just spending money and stuff. And it's like you gotta want more for yourself, And granted, everybody's life choices, that's on them, But I don't want to surround myself with people who are still doing the same thing they were doing 7 years ago. Like if you're not trying to level up, like I can't be around you.
Nope.
And it's no hate to you. It's still love when I see you and stuff. But I'm trying to be around people where I gotta push myself to get to where they are. Because if you're always at the top of the people that you hang around with, something's wrong. You know, you should always be trying to be on the bottom as far as looking up at people like, I need to get there. So you're always constantly striving. You never get comfortable sitting at the top. Because when you're sitting at the top, someone's coming right behind you, man.
Right. You don't never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No, that's facts.
Surround yourself around people who are smarter than you, bro, and try to just soak up as much as you can. And you gotta learn when to speak and when not to speak too, bro.
And that's a big thing in this generation, man. Yeah, people sometimes you gotta open your mouth, you know, just sit there and just take the knowledge.
Just soak it in, bro.
Someone's always got a comment, for sure.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Good or bad, bro. Exactly. But yeah, you want to soak up as much game as you can. That's what I did, bro. Like I met a lot of people who were in the plumbing industry that, like, you know, as far as like people who were in residential properties, bro, I've been to some really nice houses, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've seen really, really, I'm talking about like $1 million cribs, like up in Malibu, like Los Angeles area, bro. Like there's some nice properties, bro. And you kind of try to like build a relationship with these people because you're so interested on like how they got there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, well, not a lot, but some people are kind of inherited with money. You know, their parents pass away or something, and it's passed down. But you know, a lot of people, they kind of had the same knowledge that I have now that I've been able to learn from them. It's like, bro, you just got to go out there and just be yourself and do what makes you happy and just try to be an entrepreneur and build businesses and learn about generational wealth, bro.
Right. People don't know about this stuff.
No,
man.
Bro. They don't have financial literacy. Because I didn't, bro.
Right.
Like, I was at a really hard time in my life. Like at one point, I'd probably say like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't have any financial literacy. I was in the club every single weekend.
Yeah.
Popping bottles, bro. Like it was crazy, bro. Like there were some times where I was going to the club, bro. I was living like check to check, bro. I had like $100.
Yeah.
To get me through the week, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta
popping bottles though.
Yeah, bro. Nah, bro. But you're waking up the next morning, you're like, bro.
That's the thing. That's the reason I stay out of it, man. You know, because it takes you 3 or 4 days just to get back into how you were feeling in the gym and stuff beforehand. And half the time you don't remember the night that it happened. So it's like, for me, bro, you ask me, give me a choice. Am I going out or staying at the crib? I'm staying at the crib 7 days a week, bro.
Yeah, I'm staying at the crib. Nah, you're not lying, bro.
It's funny though.
All right, bro. Before we wrap this up, what's one piece of advice that you could give the younger generation that's up and coming right now and is getting ready to step out to their adult life and the things of that nature?
Oh man, there's a lot of things, man. You know, but I'll say the number one thing is choose your circle wisely. Obviously, having the good people around you is very important. And don't be so quick to grow up, man, because when you try to just grow up so fast, like you want to be an adult so fast, right? You want to just do this, and that, man. Enjoy your childhood, because once you become an adult, like life hits you in the face quick. And I would cry. I would beg to go be a child living at the crib with moms again sometimes, you know? Because it's like, you know, you miss that stuff. But also, too, like I love being an adult and living on my own and stuff. But don't grow up too fast and stop trying to chase money all the time. I think these kids nowadays are, what's the next big thing to get me famous or the most clicks and stuff? And how can I make the most money? It's like, when you're really trying to do things from the heart and solely and things that God has called you to do, it's like the money's going to come. You ain't got to worry about that stuff. God's going to take care of you regardless. But just fall in love with something that you truly love and something that you want to do long term, because you're just trying to do short, quick little hits or little trends. Like that stuff's cool. You might get some likes here or there, but it's like consistency, man. You want to be able to rely on something long term rather than just trying to just find the next quick thing, because you're going to be searching for your soul and your life and who you are, and you're not going to know who you are. I think that's another thing a lot of people struggle with is you take social media away from them. Like, who are they? A lot of people don't know who they are, you know, and you got to find that, you know, and find that through God and through good people, because you got to know who you are from the day, man, because at the end of the day, it comes back on you. If you don't know who you are, you're going to be struggling and be soul searching throughout life. And with this generation and the world that we live in right now, it's so quick to lose yourself because someone's always doing something else, you know. And like you always say, like trying to steal ideas and stuff. Like don't like, it's cool to manifest and do and speak about what you want, but like you don't tell the whole world what you're doing. You know, try and keep your life a little private. Like people always ask me, like, Mace, where you at or what you doing nowadays? You know, and I'll tell them, like, I don't mind. You know, I'll share my story and stuff, but the world ain't got to know what you're doing all the time, man. You know, stick your head down and just work hard and let your work handle and talk for itself. You know, and some people just get stuck on, oh, I got to post this, I got to post that. Oh, I'm at the gym. Make sure everybody knows what I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to know what people, I don't want people not to know what I'm doing, you know? Like, I'd rather just stay low key and enjoy your life, enjoy your money, and do stuff that you love, for sure.
Yeah, bro. I feel like, let me add on to that real quick. I feel like one thing that we can all really learn that'll benefit us, bro, is learning about financial literacy, bro.
Yes, bro.
Because even when you get to a point, bro, to where you do have the bag,
Yep.
if you do not know what to do with it or do with your money, bro, like, I'm not saying you're going to go broke, but it's a higher possibility than you being able to maintain your money, you know? Because let's just say you, God forbid, you lost your job, right? But you're only sitting on a certain amount of money. And if someone with financial literacy knew how to grow that money versus someone who doesn't know financial literacy, what are they going to do? You know, who's going to be able to hold the bag longer?
Right.
Who's going to be able to grow their money and learn? Exactly. Somebody who knows.
And
That and keeping God first. That's first.
That's the biggest thing, man. Without God, like, none of this. Like, I truly feel like sometimes I know I'm so blessed, but I really feel like I'm living the dream sometimes, bro. Like, I work 3 days a week. I'm off 4, you know, and those 3 days, like, you're tired and those are long, like 12 and a half hours. But to have 4 days off is amazing, you know, and I'm super grateful. And I think sometimes people just get the wrong perspective of police, though, right? Like, I'll stop people sometimes and they'll come off with some attitude. And I'm like, yo, man, like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you talking to me like that? And they're like, oh, I've just had bad encounter with police before. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. And I'm sorry for that. But have I ever spoke to you before? Oh, no, man. Okay, so let's start all over again, you know? And a lot of times, like, I'll take them to jail and stuff. And after, like, hey, man, like, I really appreciate you. You know, like, you're a really cool dude and a good police officer. Like, I'm sorry for coming off the way that I did. And I tell them, like, I don't take it personal. You know, some people have bad experiences, and I'm sorry for that. But you can't just judge your past experiences on every time you encounter a police officer. Because if that's the case, then you're going to be mad at everybody, you know? Like, at the end of the day, man, behind a badge and having a gun, like, I'm a normal human just like you, man. Like, I go home, I sleep the same way as you, I do the same things. Like, this is just a job. I'm not defined by this, you know? And just trying to teach people that perspective, like, police officers are humans too, man. Some people forget that, you know? And so just trying to just be able to try to just change someone's perspective goes a long ways for sure.
Hey, man, we got to be nice to the police officers. They're here to protect and serve, man. You know, not all officers mean any harm, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I know there's some that, you know, they really don't have the best encounters with, but like you said, bro, not everybody's the same, and there's people who actually got good hearts out there, bro.
For sure.
Like,
you know?
every police officer that I've had an encounter with, bro, they've been nothing but solid, bro, you know?
Yeah.
I've never kind of experienced any type of disfavor or like any, you know, even being racist or anything like that, bro. Like, every cop that I ran into has been solid. And I would see a lot of them at the county, bro, you know? And I would bump into them, and some of them I was just able to have like good conversations with, bro, you know? You want to try to learn from every single person that is in a better position than you, bro.
That's true.
And you will be nothing but fine.
Constantly just always learning, man.
Constantly
the
always
day you stop learning is the day you've messed up, man. Because if you're not continuing learning, you're gonna get passed up, and it's not good.
You can never
gotta try to learn.
You gotta adapt. You can never know everything, bro.
There's
never.
In the moment that you think you know everything, that's when you're screwed, man. Because I don't know everything, and I'll never think I will, because then I get content and just complacent. Like, nobody knows everything. It's literally impossible, you know. So just always hang around people that are smarter than you, and you can always continue to learn.
Yeah, bro. We're gonna have to definitely come back for a part 2.
Oh,
my boy.
Man,
we definitely gonna have to pull up part 2, bro. I appreciate you pulling up, dog.
Of course, my boy.
You killed it, bro. You hit it on the nail. How long we go for? Like almost hour and a half? Hour 15? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some editing on this one, bro. But yeah, bro, you killed it, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Chosen Purpose Podcast.
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, a place where you could come and find your purpose in life, bro. You can learn from, you know, the mistakes that we went through, and just a place where you can come and just learn about yourself and do great things in life, man.
Yeah.
Mason Johnson, man, I appreciate you, big dog.
Shout out to this podcast, man. Yeah, it's just starting off, man, but you know, my boy has a big heart and doing big things, and so just stay tuned for what's coming, because it's fire up in here.
Appreciate it, big dog.
Yes, sir,
Thanks
brother.
again, buddy.
All right, boy. Yes, sir.